living glam, living rock, living with Jonathan and Katy.
Welcome
to Living with
Katy and Jonathan. Jonathan and Katy.
You're a pink and a pink. You look very cute. We talked about your color blocking.
Oh yeah, I'm a little red in the face because of my bath. I just took a bath.
A bit flushed.
Yeah, and so I just put on. Actually, this is just my skin. I got into a super hot bath.
You full on looks like piggy pink skin.
I'm shedding.
You're actually millennial pink. I love like millennial pink is like the hot color all the time. I would love if pigs are millennial pink, aren't they?
Yeah, honestly, if you couldn't see my neck, this does look like a white person that was sunburnt. Like watch, like without the planet on it. Like it kind of does look like
a protester.
Like a protester, like let us out of our houses, whatever they're saying. We want to die.
The level of
can you believe all the people protesting?
Sure can. Orange County is the hotbed, you know?
I know, it's crazy. Did you watch season 2 of Dead to Me? Speaking of Orange County.
I haven't, but I will. It's like on my next. We're about to finish season 5 of The Wire. I'm finally like going to be able to relate to all straight men. I'm like really on the verge here.
Wait, but have you seen Godfather Part 2?
No, but I'll watch that with your dad.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
I haven't.
If you do, he's going to stop it every 15 minutes to tell you something about it.
Like he's the director's comedy?
Yeah.
I mean, the commentary.
Oh, he acts like he made the movie.
I would watch it with Clarence commentary separately recorded. Your dad's.
Clarence's commentary. And no, my dad is not black. Except for the name.
I want to watch Godfather. No, not Godfather. Scarface. Because
I thought you were gonna say Scarja.
Because Michelle Pfeiffer in that is like my style icon.
Oh,
and I always say if Chris would kill himself before he did a couple's costume probably, but we would be an amazing Scarface and Michelle Pfeiffer for Halloween, would we not?
No, because he doesn't look like Scarface in any way.
But I mean, they're all Latino.
Yeah, but Al Pacino plays him.
Yeah. Get that wig. But I love all I know is like Michelle Pfeiffer's vibes.
She is peak Michelle Pfeiffer in that movie. She is so gorgeous when she's like on the dance floor and he like is like really hustling her and she's like, I'm not your baby. Like her cheekbones and her contour and her blush and her bob. She has like this bob and then like a 70s sparkly dress on. It's amazing.
I love it. It's all Halston Designs. Also, she's the only person who looks like really sexy with like bangs. You know what I mean? Because her whole look is like blunt bob curled under and then like almost like page boy bang. Not page boy, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was really long bangs that came down here, but you could see some forehead too.
But they were like, curled. But yeah, she's basically my style icon.
Yeah.
How has your week been?
I mean, I didn't do anything. I don't even know what I did. I mean,
But how was your bulking journey? Yeah.
I mean, I've just been working out. That's about it.
Did your weights arrive?
No, I'm still waiting on them. I don't think that they're going to come. I think what's going to happen is what happened to your package, which is it's going to just sit there for 10 days before it gets to me because it's been at the post office since the 5th.
Oh, so still no.
Still no. Yeah.
That's annoying.
What about you? How was your weekend?
I've been continuing to like just organize any little inch, and in my organization I found true treasure, which is what I wanted to share with you today.
Okay.
Which is my diaries from 1999, high school, age 14. I found some primo selections.
Okay.
That I wanted to do some dramatic readings of.
Okay, these better be good, Katy, because last episode you also did dramatic readings.
I know, but trust me. These are, did you ever keep a diary or a journal growing up?
No, I would buy them and then I would just end up doodling in them. I never like wrote things down. Yeah. It's crazy to me that people write in diaries and some people have diaries and diaries and diaries from their youth.
which is me. I literally, my first diary is, I think it's from 3rd grade.
Wow.
And it's like, I had a lot of feelings. So I realized in looking at all this, like, wow, okay, and mind you, this was also the year I went on antidepressants, or like I had been on them for a year. So
is this 3rd grade?
No, sorry. This one's in 1999. This is me at age 14.
Okay.
So again, I had been on antidepressants. Maybe there were some, swirling emotions happening, maybe. But it's funny, like it's that weird thing, or like probably in stand-up you have it too, of like what you think you're like, and then you see yourself on TV, or like, see video of yourself or hear yourself, and you're like, wow, I come off very differently than like what I think, So
it is really scary to think of how you come off versus how you see yourself.
yeah, absolutely. It's always very upsetting. Or like when I hate having to like listen to stand-up sets because you hear your voice, or like the weird things you say, or like the tics or habits or whatever.
Right.
This, just to set the stage. Okay. So I was 14. I had taken my first trip to England, and that was very like right at the same year that Shakespeare in Love came out. So at this time, I'm very like still Renaissance fair, like sexy medieval poetry, very romantic thoughts. And I use the word nor a lot, like neither nor. And I'm also like, at this age, especially like when you're like 13, 14, 15, you're trying so hard to be precocious, and all you want is people to tell you how mature you are, and how like, wow, you're really more than just a teenager.
Oh, it's so true. Like, I remember this past Christmas, I was sitting around the table, and a bunch of my little baby cousins, they're teenagers now, and so they're like 16, 17, and they're just saying stuff like, well, anyways, my boyfriend, or like my girlfriend, and then they like, we're thinking of going to, up the coast for the weekend. You're 16, like, and then it's crazy because no one would respond around the table. Everyone would just nod, and then we would just continue the conversation, and we weren't rude, but it's like no one wants to hear about a teenager's boyfriend or girlfriend, because it's like,
you're not a real person.
Yeah, you're not a real person yet. We're not going to meet them. We don't want to meet them because they're not an adult. Like, people only want to hear about your boyfriend or girlfriend if you're an adult, because your parents think, oh, maybe this is going to be something that's like serious,
Yeah.
But like as a 16-year-old, everyone's like, we don't care. Like, nope, we don't care. But it's
cute.
funny because tricks that they use in conversations to seem more adult, I know those tricks.
Yeah.
And I can spot them out, and they're so embarrassing now because you can't say anything, because it's like they're kind of still innocent, they're trying to be, but you can like hear little tricks that they do to sound precocious, and it's like cringy, but that you did them too.
So much. And again, I don't know why my vibe was very like world weary, and very, as we talked about, if you guys didn't listen to last episode, listen to my dramatic readings of romantic middle-aged women self-help. So this was very much my vibe. I feel like this is an era where like you're actually having to like read Shakespeare in school, and like older texts or Victorian era like literature. So everything is very heavy, very dramatic. I will try to get even through this without dying. But okay, this is Monday, January 5th, 1999. I'm 14 years old. Okay.
I was 6 years old, guys.
There you go. And you were so mature too at that time.
Oh yeah, but I was a little kid trying to be precocious is the most annoying thing. At least with a teenager, it's like, well, you're gonna be an adult soon, Yeah. But a little kid is like, shut the fuck up. It's
very child actor.
Yeah, you just want to backhand them, but you can't.
You cannot.
No.
Okay. As I contemplate what to write, thoughts of NSYNC, school, and friends invade my mind. But eventually they will fade, and I will have my focus and concentration back. I've written diaries in the past, written of my routine, daily events, of how I felt, what my life was like, and other such things I felt that in later years I would want to remember. Now it is later years. I'm 14.
Now it is later years.
And my opinions have developed, so has my mind. I strive for people to like me, to be accepted, and in the majority I am, I think. But what do I think? Does anybody wonder about me as I do about others?
She has a lot of feelings.
My best friend's name was Danielle. When I'm with Danielle, what do? I'll tell you what I do. I assume the role of the typical teenager and put on a facade and quite a masquerade of my coolness, attempting not to act as if my intelligence is worth anything. There is but my image is who and what I am. But there is a distinction between those words, who and what you are. Let me clarify. I ask, what are you, Katy? I'm a teenager. I put that in quotes. The role that assumes your position, what your parents believe you are. The word teenager is a word they made up to explain the unexplainable. They can't remember what it was like to be awkward and oppressed. The world is hammering down on us.
Awkward and oppressed?
The world is hammering down on us. We think we are so great, however, we are defenseless. But they do not see that, nor can they empathize.
Let's also just for people, Katy, as she does now, was a beautiful white woman with blue eyes and blonde hair and a big butt. And in high school, she was like on the volleyball team. So
I was captain of the volleyball team.
She was captain of the volleyball team.
But you're about to find out my dramatic backstory. You'll see.
So from an outsider's perspective, you seem to be the girl that could possibly have it all, right? And yet you're over here with a quill pen being like, I contemplate my existence. Which, by the way, you know what I did do? I didn't write diaries. I wrote poetry.
Oh, please can we have a follow-up episode?
Long 4 pages of poetry.
Oh my God.
And I used to follow my dad around and like slams and read them. And it used to be stuff like power tower, April showers. You wanna fuck me? Well, I'll just jump off the tower or something, like, it was just like really bad stuff. Or like stuff that purposefully didn't rhyme, where it was like, I look into my picture frame and I see the family that we were before my nephew died, and we broke it and we skirt, like just like stuff like that. And then my dad would just be like,
okay, I do want to say that I know that I seem like I have it all, but I was using the royal we in terms of all teenagers.
Because you are royalty.
Because all teenagers are defenseless and they're hammering down on us. Oh my God. I am a teenager. I am creative. Was creative. My outlet was dance. I was good, even perhaps great. Okay, now this is what I want to say. Okay, this is sad because I had danced my whole life until I was like 13, 14. And I wanted obviously to dance in high school, but that requires like weekend rehearsals and performances on the weekends. And my parents were like deeply divorced. My dad lived 100 miles away and I had to go see him every other weekend. So like I couldn't do it because I couldn't go on weekends to do any of that.
Right.
So at this point I felt that my art, my destiny had been taken from me. So this is like my drama of why I was good, even perhaps great, exceptional. I have I have tears in my eyes now, reminiscing over how it used to be and how I used to be and who I was, a dancer. Now, I don't know if I will ever find who I am again, or if I will forever explain what I am, but no longer who I am. My depression settles as a cloud above my head. When I stop writing, it will disappear immediately, and the dam of which my heart overflows will be fixed and I shut off from the true meaning of these words. So from now until then, so long. Catherine French.
It's insane. I mean, the thing is, all teenagers are like this, and if you put it to really good music, you're Billie Eilish. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we're making fun of you, but had you had you like had a keyboard maybe
Oh,
or
heaven
sing,
forbid. Thank God I
yeah,
did it.
you
I
could
would
have.
have been Billie Eilish, 100%.
Yeah, or at least a nice Avril. Remember Avril? I'm standing on the bridge, I'm waiting in the
No
dark.
dark.
I thought that you'd be here by
By now. I
there's
would have been
the
Sarah Bareilles.
rain. The
I
footsteps
also
on
love
the ground.
I love how the rain factors into so many teen pop songs. Like it's
Yeah,
always like standing in the rain, waiting for my heart.
because it's the most like stupid dramatic thing you could do as a teenager. Be like, "Fuck you, mom," and then just like walk out into the rain, and you're just like getting wet, and you're just like, yeah,
I also love how like every pop song, sad song, whatever, like you listen to it as a teen and you're just like, this is literally my life. And all it says is it's just like, don't know what to do. It was a bad day. And you're just like,
right.
how is she writing about me right now?
Yeah, like when I listened to Nelly Furtado as a teen, I was like, I am like a bird. I am just like one. Also, turn off the light. I don't know.
This was, okay, by the way, that was a Monday. This is Tuesday. This is the next day, very next days.
Oh, maybe you just had a case of the
But
Mondays. That's why you.
yes. Another case of the Mondays. On a Monday, I am
I'm
waiting.
waiting on a Tuesday. I am fading,
Fading.
which is the worst. That's the worst rhyme.
That is probably my favorite awful pop song of all time. Like, what
It
the
is
hell are you
so
thinking?
bad. It is terribly bad. Like I, I've been rewatching a lot of like old music videos, and that one is one of the worst. I mean, one of the worst. The hairstyle, the lyric, oh, it's just terrible.
But I do love it, and I will be putting it on a mix after we talk. Okay. I have nothing to say today. Much like the rain, my mind is dreary and gray. Tomorrow are finals. What exactly is the point? A test of facts, but not of knowledge.
You know what it is though? I think also teenagers, they speak this way, I think in any language, because I think because you're becoming an adult, you're finally getting a grasp on how to use language, right? Like
Yeah.
in a really effective or in a more advanced way. So you try everything out. It's like you're blowing your load in every sentence. You're always like the facetiousness of the facade of this professor. It's just always like
The minute you
stupid.
learn something new. It's
Yeah,
also very much like that's also when you're becoming aware of like systems and injustices and like it's like when you come home and are like, do you guys even know about slavery? It's like, yeah,
right.
we know, girl. A test of facts, but not of knowledge. If it was on philosophy or some other subject, I believe I would pass. However, it is on memorized facts and such and such. Oh, now who am I fooling? There was no logical thought nor observation in these words. I'm loving the word nor. But let me note this. How is it that those who are good citizens never benefit? Don't know what I was talking about.
Well, I guess you're just trying to say like there is no justice for the good in the world, and that is kind of true, but it's just like an overly wrought, dramatic way to say that.
And we're testing facts, but not knowledge, you know?
Yeah. Like,
Um,
and you know that when I was a teenager, I was super into Chicano stuff. Like, there
yes.
used to be a Chicano bookstore 2 blocks away from my parents' house in Eagle Rock that had been there since the 90s. It was called Emix. And I used to go there and like hang out all the time, and I would buy t-shirts from there and I would wear their t-shirts to their gallery events. It was crazy. And I would always just be like writing poetry that was like, I can feel the indigeneity coursing through my veins. I can feel it come out crackling on the bus when I ride through Azatlan. Like I used to like say like so crazy, so much like do poetry about like Latinidad. And I used to like, yeah, you
Did
know.
you ever do a poetry reading there?
No, I didn't. No, I never read it. I never read my poetry out loud in public. I would read it to like friends and to my um oh my God, I used to read it to friends. I used to be like on the phone and be like, Jaina, do you have an hour? And then just like read her poetry. And she was no doubt like probably just getting high and playing tarot or something. And she would be like, that's great. That's really deep, you know?
please, we are going to do a follow-up very special episode of living with Jonathan's poetry.
Yeah, I even have a book that I made of my own poetry, and it's
Oh my God.
I think I showed it to you. It's a wooden book that I got from Michael that I painted for Michael's, the craft store, and inside I put a bunch of poems. And
Poems.
yeah, and on the inside of the poem is like on the book is like felt, and I put like a cutout of like Lil Kim and Rocky Horror Picture Show with like a Selena lyric, and then like dried petals of roses. It was so like, this is me. And I also put like my own poetry of Rent. Like I like got inspired and made my own fan fiction of Rent. Like it was crazy.
Oh my God. Okay,
and the book is called Seasons of Poetry. It's still at my parents' house.
Oh my God, I cannot wait. This is the first thing that must happen after quarantine.
I know.
Oh my God, Seasons of Poetry.
Yeah. And one poem is just called Rape. It is just called that. And it's the shortest poem. And I would always tell people, because even rape can be really short, but it could change your life forever. I used to say stuff like that, even though I was a man, and it's like, yeah, no one's going to rape you.
But one poem
but then I was raped. Statutory, but I wanted it. Every inch.
Seasons of Desire. It's the follow-up to your
Seasons of Desire, my late 20s book of poetry, which honestly, late 20s can be just as embarrassing. So I have to be careful.
You really do. Like, okay, and I just want to say for the people that this is just the written word. What happened once I learned to play guitar was unspeakable.
Okay, speaking of guitar, can we now watch the Jewel Jessica Simpson?
Yes, I just have one last paragraph I'm just going to read.
Yeah,
because this was just I took a really dramatic twist in this entry, but it's really important and it's very significant.
Okay.
So how is it that those who are good citizens never benefit? Also, one more thing. Lance is going out with Danielle Fisher. I had always known that eventually he would be with someone, though I wished by some played out, she's all that, Dawson and Joey fiction romance, it could hopefully come true, that it could be me, but I knew all along it would never happen. But I can dream, can't I? Just know it is forever engraved that they are, quote, together. Damn her. It's not enough to be rich and famous now, is it? No, she has to go and spoil average teenagers' dreams. The end. Okay, I will say this. I will also, in a future episode, read from my songbook because I did write songs at that time, of course. And one of them, I want to say I don't know what it's about, but I'll just say that the title of the song was Mr. Maybe.
Ew. That is so like, I want to be a pop princess.
And it was either like a political anthem about like, and all these politicians saying maybe, like, or it was about a guy I liked who like couldn't commit ever again, Mr. Maybe. Don't know which one, but could have applied to both.
Now, for me in high school, because now when I was in high school, it's mid to late 2000s. So I was totally like, my whole thing was like the Hillary Duff Come Clean, the like, why not, the So Yesterday era.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like totally that. It was like, yeah.
Is there a song that you can remember like in your youth crying to?
Oh yeah. It was, I cried to so many songs. I would say it's probably Norah Jones. No, I'm kidding. It's, I think it was probably something that like Nelly Furtado wrote on her like second studio album, where she's like, she had a song, because she had, in the early 2000s, she had Whoa Nelly come out in 2001, but then in high school in 2006, she had her second album, or third album come out, Loose, that Promiscuous Girl was on. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, honestly, high school was all like Nelly Furtado, Amy Winehouse, Hillary Duff, Lady Gaga, because Lady Gaga came out in like 2007 when I was in 10th grade. So it was definitely like that whole era. Honestly, I think the late 2000s was a pretty good era. Rihanna came out.
Oh yeah, it was great pop.
It
Did
was a great
you
era.
in that era, did you listen to any like gay artists or like
No, I never listened to any of that. It was like gay artists for me were just like female artists. And
Gaga?
yeah, and there was no gay male presence really
Right.
in pop music at the time. I guess when did Adam Lambert get famous? I guess maybe that was the late 2000s, early 2010s, but he wasn't at the level of fame where he could be like, he wasn't releasing hits, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just like all that. And of course Beyonce was big, but this late 2000s Beyonce was funny because we thought she had arrived and become Beyonce, right?
Right.
And she wasn't even there. She was just halfway there.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
Do you listen to any male artists at all?
I hate men except for sex. No, I didn't really listen to a lot of male artists back then unless they sung in Spanish. I listened to a lot of male artists that sung in Spanish, like Juanes. I loved Juanes. Do you know him?
Yeah. I mean, I know
I loved Alejandro Sanz. He's a Spanish singer. I loved I loved Ricky Martin, but not because of his music, but because he was like incredibly, incredibly good looking. I love Mana. I mean, that's like classic Mexican rock.
Oh,
Mana is great. Yeah, but that's about it in terms of the male artists that I actually loved. Oh, I did love Mark Anthony because I still think to this day, and I thought back then, he had like the best voice in Spanish language music. Like he truly does have a great voice.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's not one I would think you would say.
No, I mean I love vocalists. So it's hard for me to listen to a male artist unless he can sing super, super well.
That's the most theater kid like
it's true.
You don't like singers or stars, you like vocalists?
Yeah, even it was hard for me to listen to Alejandro Sanz because have you heard Alejandro Sanz before?
Probably, but
he's not like known for a great voice. He does this like whisper singing thing where it's kind of like any guy could, you know what I mean? Like he does the like te lo agradezco pero no te lo agradezco, like he sings like that.
Like a softer version.
Yeah, but Mark Anthony is like a truly amazing vocalist. Like it must have been weird being married to J-Lo because it's like there's someone in the family who is such a good singer. He is truly an amazing singer. And then you have J-Lo. And it's just so incongruent. Like Mark Anthony can sing beautifully in both languages, and J-Lo, I mean,
J-Lo is an entertainer.
She's an entertainer, but
my favorite thing about J-Lo is that she has like gotten with like the creme de la creme of like music and film.
Yeah.
And I just love in like the Diddy era when she was like, so I'm gonna do an album. And he's like, yes, okay, sure. And it's like she just gets all his producer friend, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the hit machine. I also love that J-Lo always talks about how music is her true love.
Which is weird because it's like, shouldn't it be like dancing? I thought that dancing would have been her true love, but I guess that's just her first love.
Yeah, as was mine, and that dream was ripped away, and I never recovered.
And I guess like dancing is the talent that she's probably the best at, but I guess like just because you're the best at something doesn't mean that you love it the most.
Yeah, I mean, you were the best at poetry. You didn't.
And you know what? I gave it up because guess what? I just didn't love it, and that's what I said to everyone in the coffee shop. I said, I don't love it. I don't love it.
I'm not going to do it.
I'm not going to do it. I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
I do like though. I mean, the Rent soundtrack. Talk about male vocalists. I mean, what a heavy hitter.
There was some really bad singers on that soundtrack.
But there's great when Jesse
L. Martin was great.
Doing Live in My
Your House, I'll be your shelter. Just pay me back with 1,000 kisses. Yeah.
Oh no, he is really, when he hits that really low note when he's like, be my lover.
And then you had Anthony.
You know that one.
Yeah. And then you had Anthony Rapp, who was like, bisexuals, trisexuals, homo sapiens, carcinogens, hallucinogens, men, Pee Wee Herman, like that, like weird, you know, that Broadway, like rock voice, that fake rock. It's like all the Broadway kids who also listen to Green Day. That's
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh God, that is so funny. Well, guys, we had a great time. We can encourage everybody to write their own poetry, songs, share diary entries you have. And
comment below who you're really loving right now in music, because I didn't know the girl that Coffee that Katy just sent right now. Yeah. And I'm now going to go and follow her on Spotify.
And we're trying to create a virtual club here, so...
Yeah, so to our 5 viewers.
And my mom. Shout out, Mom.
All right. Until
we
next
love you.
time.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.